You know, I think, I mean, here's the thing, okay? You've talked about what you've done. You know, it isn't good. It's probably, you know, it's one of the worst things, you know, that you could do. And you served your time. You came out. You're aware it was terrible. If anything, I think the SJWs should support that, because I think the SJWs talk about rehabilitation so much in a lot of their political points. Am I right, Destiny, or am I wrong here? About, you know, people being rehabilitated, correct? Am I wrong on this, Destiny?
I mean, our criminal justice system has nothing to do with rehabilitation, but I think generally people try to push for that.
Exactly. It's a pipe dream, man. Honestly, like, what I did is obviously fucked up. I'm still dealing with it emotionally, all around in life. I found this platform just to express myself, and it's helped a lot. Honestly, it's helped me way more than people even know. Just meeting awesome ass people on here, and then the support that they gave me. But,
hey, do you want to not to make this like super awkward or uncomfortable, but because a lot of people don't know exactly what you did or what happened. Yeah, you want to just like explain it so that just so chat is on, because I'm sure a lot of people have heard a lot of different crazy shit.
No problem, man. All right, it's deep shit, guys. It's deep shit. You know, obviously a lot of people are gonna hate me. It is what it is. I understand what I did is fucked up. But at 19, this was 9 years ago. I got behind the wheel intoxicated, and two of my friends ended up passing away from the car wreck. And you know, that's just something that I struggled with for years and years and years. And people think that prison is full of evil individuals, criminals, but ultimately it's filled with fathers, you know, sons, people that have families out there. And once we realize that everybody in there is just a person, and we kind of leave that stigma out of it, that way true reform can happen. And honestly, the only reason why I came out rehabilitated, it has nothing to do with the system. The system has jack shit to do with it. If anything, it makes you a hardened criminal. It makes you have an animosity towards society because they shunned you and they kind of say just fuck you. But I met guys in there that were actually way worse off than me. And I know it kind of sounds fucked up, but like as people, we tend to look at other people's situations and we feel better when somebody has a worse situation, because like we reflect upon ourselves and like, oh man, it could get a lot worse. It could be worse. Like, we're all healthy, we got our limbs, and, you know, we're just having a fucking... There's no complaints, is what I'm trying to say. So, anyways, I ended up meeting a bunch of good-ass guys in there, and I kind of came out of my deep depression, like, dark state I was in, man. I kind of just didn't give a fuck at that time, man. I was fighting all the time. I was embodying everything that's negative about prison. The stealing... Not really the gang banging, but I was clicked up. I mean, that's kind of what you got to do. But one thing I never did is join a gang, because at the end of the day, in the back of my head, I always knew that I got to get back to my family. And I've been out 10 months. You know, I had a job as a trucking dispatcher, but I ended up leaving that job. Long story short, man, I found streaming 3.5 months ago, and fucking I've never looked back, man. I've been watching your podcast, Asmongold's, Miss Skiffs, and it's like it gave me a space to just chill, relax, and just see what's out there, see what's new.
So, did you ever get put in a position when you were in there that you had to choose a side in terms of like a gang, or if it was by race, or if you had to go in?
All right, so not to dox myself too much. I mean, honestly, I don't even give a shit. I'm from Chicago, right? And I was in Cook County Jail. If anybody knows anything about Cook County Jail, it's got over 12,000 inmates.
Holy shit.
So if you don't click up, then you're basically going to be sleeping on the floor. You're going to be the last man on the shower line, last man on the phone. You're going to get extorted. They're going to start yoinking from you. Your shoes are going to get yoinked from after your court case. All your honey buns, all that bullshit. I know that's petty stuff, but ultimately... I got into a fight. I'm not trying to glorify fucking violence at all, you know, but it just found me. And I ended up making a name for myself in the beginning, and I was approached by certain individuals, and they offered basically my aid and assist is what they call. So you're like a floater, just to be up with them, to click up. So I rode with them while I was in jail. But once I got to prison, which people don't understand this. In the States, jail and prison are two different places. Like in jail, you actually fight your case and you're waiting to get your time. And in prison, you actually do your time that you got. So jail is hardcore because nobody knows what they're getting. I was facing 28 years, right? Their first offer was 26 years. Like, I've never been in trouble before. I used to be a fat WoW gamer kid. Like, I used to weigh 300 some pounds, and this is the last place that I thought that I could survive. But honestly, you'd be shocked, and this goes to everybody in here, everybody even watching. You'd be shocked at what you're capable of when you're put in that predicament. You may think that you're not capable of surviving in an environment like that, but yo, it's adapt or get fucking adapted. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But we're the most resilient species out there, I believe. And as long as you're a survivor, you're gonna survive any situation. Straight up.
Dude, my perception of you, like, if 100%, like, I won't lie to you, dude. Your name at first was like, what's going on? And then the chat saying like, what's going on? I was confused, right? So
yeah,
it leaves that gap of like, what the fuck is going on? And then when you finally tell your story, it's like, whoa, holy fuck. Like,
everybody thinks that, dude. And like the whole name is basically just an essence that everybody's fucked up. Nobody's perfect. We've all danced with the devil one time in our lives, you know, and honestly, we just got to remember that when you're pointing the finger at somebody else and calling them a fuck up, calling them a loser, calling them a fucking everything negative. Take a look at yourself in the mirror before you do that and understand, like, what are you doing? How are you bettering society? How are you bettering the world? By knocking somebody down that's already down. That's some fucking shameless ass shit. It's fucking disgusting. No victim Andy's here, by the way. Hey.
Any other questions?
That puts the rest of our stories to shit, doesn't it? What the fuck can the rest of us say?
Hey, it is what it is, guys.
That's life right there.
At the end of the day, yeah. Yeah.
But we all have our experiences, man. Just because this one seems to be more unique, it doesn't mean that any of your guys is any less, bro. Honestly, it's just, you know, it may seem more intense to you, but to me, it seems normal because this is what I live, you know? So like, to me, your guys' story is more insane. Like all of you guys are basically super successful on this platform. You've done something. People watch you for a fucking reason, and don't downplay that shit, man.
People were asking, how long did you serve for?
I served altogether 8.5 years.
Okay, there's your answer, chat. Okay, does anyone else have brought this up so we can? It was good. It was good to get this information out there. So I appreciate that, Destiny, for co-hosting that. Co-host. Fuck. Thank you. Any other questions on the cast before we move on? No? Great. As far as your message from everything you've learned, do you have any message for, you know, people maybe fucking up, making bad decisions, something that you learned that you want to kind of give out 100%. To people who might be making bad decisions or you know, getting themselves into trouble?
110%, bro. And I reiterate this all the time on my channel. And don't take life too seriously, you know, meme, have a good time. But at the same time, be conscious that your decisions, they have consequences. So when you decide to do dumb shit, you got to be ready to accept those consequences, whatever they are. And especially in today's society, even the smallest thing like saying something out of pocket on fucking social media can fucking ruin you. But hold on a second. But like actual actions, the more important stuff that we should be focusing on, just take a step back, think about what you're doing. My whole thing that I learned is if you just reflect on a rash decision, take 10-second breather, usually you're going to avoid making that dumbass mistake. So just live life to the fullest. Don't take shit for granted, because realize it could get stripped away from you in an instant, man. They can just fucking throw you in a cage and not let you out, and you're going to lose everything. So be grateful for what you do have and wake up with a smile on your face, man, because life's good, man. Life's good.
Yep. And also, don't ever drink and drive, boys. Ever.
Exactly. Truth.
All right. Well,
it was fucking hot. Okay, dude. Okay. That's true. That's pretty true. Yeah, so